Mhm. Right, good morning, team. Just turning my fan on. It's a bit hot here today. Right, looks good. Right, let's move the old chair out of the way. Might get a little bit more frame bound, I think. Let's try that. Okay, so, oh shit, it's all over the show today. No, there we go. I think that'll be better. Okay, right, hi team. Um, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a practice 1,000 meter. Now, I was going to do the 1,000 meter, but then I realized that it's the 5th to the 9th of March. So World Rowing have got their virtual sprints on. Okay, so um, great, great thing to do. Very easy. You can do it at home. If you've got the erg data app in your logbook, there's a single distance on your erg data, um, and you can just chuck it on, bang, 1,000 meter, away you go. Okay, so it'll be really cool. Yeah, nice haircut. Thanks, right, bro. Yeah, got the old mullet going again. Bit of speed. Yeah, business on top, party in the back. Um, we so what I just wanted to do is just retake you sort of through, I guess, quite a refresher of warm up, talk about some strategy. We'll do 1,000 meters. So we'll be a little bit disjointed in terms of time. I might set mine just a little bit longer so that we can all do it together. Um, but what the idea is that when you go to do like you want to do a sprint piece, you want to do whether it's 500,000, whatever, we need to do a decent amount of warm up that preps us for the piece, right? And as you've probably seen with and most of the team that's here, when we do pieces or when we do sets in our training, there's a point in time where you feel really good, okay? And it's generally not the first piece. It might be the second or the third, or sometimes probably not the last piece. Say we do 4 8 minute piece, something like that. So when you look at that and you go, okay, well, it's taken me say 24 something odd minutes to get to this feeling. That's not without doing like a warm up prior. So we'll just go through a little bit today about what we should look to do, okay, when we do a warm up. So this warm up piece here is probably going to be close to 20 minutes. Okay, so we'll get on the machine. We'll just go through that first process of just loosening ourselves up. You can stop and have a drink and do what you need to. And then we'll just roll into it and we'll do 4 or 5 minutes at just a nice steady pace, 20 rate, whatever, just letting the heart rates build with a little bit of pressure. Then we'll just go through a whole series of incremental rating changes. Okay, so the 30 seconds, 45 seconds, we might do a minute at a couple of them, right? 24, 26, 28, building through to sort of above 30. Okay. And then we'll do a series of priming pieces. Okay, so the priming pieces are our high rate. Okay, like starting to push the rate and push the power. So we start to figure out what we want to find with our speed. Okay, then we generally want to do a couple of over rate pieces. Okay, so just really fucking lay into it. Okay, really rip into it. Then we'll just roll it off for a little bit, and then we'll just do like one more sort of 20 strokes or whatever at what we're trying to target. Okay. So we'll probably have a rough idea in our head. Okay. But because today is a practice, okay, while we're doing this warm up, right? Because the great thing about 1,000 meters is it's 3 to 4 minutes or somewhere in between. You are not physically exerting yourself that much that it's going to take you, 3 or 4 days to recover. Okay, like a sort of a 2K, take you a few days. If you had to do another one, you'd be like, ah, okay. But this is short enough, but long enough to be a pain in the ass, but to be okay physiologically. So what we can do, right, is look at an incremental change while we're doing the piece. Okay, and what I mean by that is that when we look at this 1,000 meters, and maybe you don't really have an idea of the, like, say, the time that you could do, but because this is a practice, one of the things that you probably heard me say is realistic expectations, right? So we want to find a realistic expectation for ourselves. Now, we find that by doing this practice, right? And what it might look like for you is, if, let's say, we break it down in 250 meter sections. Okay. The first one we could do at 32 rate, get the speed, find the rhythm, go, okay, this is okay. Okay. And then we might increase a little bit of pressure in the next one and go up to, say, 33, 34, get through the 500, and we just hold the rhythm, right? And we don't want to sprint this all the way home. Okay, because what we want to do is, and I'll use a round number here, is that we finish the piece and it's 3 minutes 30. Perfect. Okay, and then you can feel in yourself and you can say, okay, I felt reasonably controlled there. I felt like maybe I could have lifted the rating a bit more. I didn't feel like I was tying up, blah, blah, blah. Right. So then you can quite honestly say, well, okay, that's a 145 split. Do I think I can hold a 142 or a 143? Or do I think I could hold a 140? Right. And then those are the decisions that you can make between now and hopefully this week when the 1,000 meters is out, so that you'll be able to do it, right, by using the warm up that we're just going to do now. Okay. Slightly adjusted to you because everyone's slightly individual, right? But then you'll have an idea and an expectation of what you think you can achieve. Okay. And I think this is one of the things as we go into, we get these ideas of doing something or whatever, but we don't generally have a realistic expectation because we're like, I think I can do this, right? But we don't know if we can do that. So this is why doing a practice thing sort of 3, 4 days out is absolutely perfect, right? It's what we need to do so that we start to get an understanding. So um, let's jump on. Let's just start doing sort of our, you know, 5 minutes sort of limber, loosen, get ready. And then we'll start building into a warm up from there. Okay. So the other thing too, I'll just say, is when you go to do maybe check that, yeah, if you're going to do this, right, which I recommend, I think it's great because you literally, it's 1,000 meters, you can rank yourself against anyone else in the world. Overall, in your age categories, in your weight categories, you name it, it's all there. Okay. You're just going to have to make sure that your erg data wrap is up to date. And you'll sync it with your monitor if you've got a PM5. If you don't have a PM5, you can manually input it. Okay. But just make sure that you make the time and date is the same on there as your phone. Now, it should sync together. Okay. Most things do these days. But just make sure they're the same. Otherwise, you could do this blistering piece, and then it's set on, like, I don't know, the first of March, 1999 or 2010, and you'll be like, ah, shit, wrong date. Okay, and then it doesn't match up in their system if you have to put in a verification code. So that's just something to think about. Okay, but let's get prepped. Okay, and I think I've said this multiple times that I really believe that we don't. A lot of people think that I don't want to do too much in the warm up because I'm going to use all my energy. Okay, now that's true if we were going to like do a full session and then do a set. Okay, but because we're just getting ourselves loose, limber, okay, moving our bodies, starting to get the heart rate up, prepping our body, 20, 25 minutes is probably about right for what we need to be doing. Okay. And this first 5 minutes of it is very much just getting the body loose, just starting to move. Okay. Before we think about any pressures. Okay. So SOP, standard operating procedure, just feeling our elasticity increase as we continue to move. Okay, and this practice as well is a very good chance to think, okay, have I been doing speed work? No. Okay. So maybe you're a little bit stronger. So maybe you want to have your drag a little bit higher. Okay. Maybe the reverse. Okay, the vice versa. You haven't been doing a lot of strength work, okay, but you think you could probably move quick. Okay. Maybe check the drag factor. Okay. And that's something that we'll do just before, once we've got this loose and limber stuff, we can reset the monitor, we can check the drag factor, okay, and then that's giving you details. Because if you have it on 130 drag, right, and you do this practice, you're like, fuck, I just couldn't get the rating. There may be 125 could be a better one when you do the test. Okay. So just start to feel a little bit more pressure or output now. Okay. Nice free movement. Good hang, good rhythm, good motion. Okay. Feel the push and feeling our connection through the body. And nice. Okay. So this, as always, this first 4 or 5 minutes is very much just loosening the muscles into a position that then we can start to put under pressure. Okay. We can start to work with. So you should think about, how does my elasticity feel in terms of my setup, the pack up. Okay. Starting to feel this hang. Okay. Really focus in on leaving the arms out long. And that take up period. Okay. Good. And so now we can start to just think for the next few minutes on our application to the pressure we're exerting. Okay. Just allow that heart rate to slowly build over the next sort of 5 minutes. Okay, and so while we're doing that, just remember that the focus is on the form. Okay. Holding nice long arms. Feeling the push. Both feet. Feeling that body come through with the leg drive. Okay. Nice. Okay. You just slowly over every 10 stroke, just start to think about what pressure you think you're pushing. Okay, you're getting down to sort of our training pace. And remember that what we do in this warm up is what we want to transfer into the piece. Okay. Nice momentum around the finish. Good. Nice. Rhythm with the body. Sit back through the stroke. Oh, nice. That's a really good focus here on our holding the bodies. Nice, loose, elastic. Feel the drive through the feet, right to the body, with the hand. Okay, good. Okay, so we should be on like a training pace now. Okay, heart rate starting to get towards sort of that training rhythm. We should be focusing on our composure, our relaxation, and just nice, continuous movement using effort on the drive, relax the recovery. Okay, nice. Okay, so have a quick drink if you need to. Okay, generally into that sort of 10-minute area is a nice space to just sort of get the body loose. Okay, now, so before we go any further, let's just check our drag factor. Okay, so jump in, more options, display drag. Okay, just row here for, I don't know, 5 or 10 strokes. And just get your drag to get the number that you want. Okay, now you might be like, fuck, I don't know what I've been rowing on. Okay. As I've mentioned before, elite athletes are 130 and 120, respectively. Okay, male, female. But we're not elite athletes anymore. So it's more about your feeling and going, the lower I have my drag, quicker I can move. The higher I have my drag, the more power I'm going to have to use. Okay, so it's up to you. Just get your number. Okay, and then that's going to be a really good starting point. Not just put that up a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so just hit the menu button. Okay, that's going to save. Well, sorry, that's just going to put us back onto the rowing screen. Okay. Now, with what we'll do over the next sort of 8-10 minutes, we're going to do a series of building pieces, okay? We're going to just build the rating. We're going to look for efficiencies. And we're just going to get this rhythm of tapping it along, okay? Now, focus on how we're doing it. Okay, we don't have to set records on the numbers that we're seeing on screen. This is all about building the body's speed and tolerance to what we're going to be doing. Okay, so moving in, minute at 24 now. Okay, so we just build it, take your time. Okay, and start getting this feeling of rolling in, picking the speed of the flywheel. And tapping it along. Okay, as efficient as we can. Don't breathe. We loose. Relax. Okay. Work the drive. Relax the recovery. Okay, take it down. Okay, so not a physiologist, but I've learned from some of the best that I'm just trying to build the body, build the heart rate, build the stress, build the aerobic zone, getting muscles to ask for oxygen, but also work in an anaerobic space. Sorry, work in an aerobic space. Okay, so we start firming here because we want to try and teeter as much as we can in the first part of this, especially the first minute, as close to aerobic as we can. Because if we dip into the anaerobic too quick, she gone burger. Okay, right. So let's move to 26 now. Okay, nice easy speed. Hang. Okay. Just remember the goal, flywheel, that speed, tap it. Okay, breathing. Take it down. Okay. So just these minute pieces are there designed to move blood in. Okay, feel the breathing, but also one of the most important thing is holding our composure and our technique as we go through these ratings. Okay. Yes, slightly changes the high rate when we're under full tip. We want to keep it as close as we can. Okay. Not throw things out the door and just start ripping on it. Okay. So firm. Okay. So we're going to move this up to 28, building now. Okay. The elastic. Good. Think about that leg speed. Okay? Speed of the drive. Tap it along. Finish in front of the body. Good. Okay. Roll up. Compress. Take it down. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So these are really good ways, especially in shorter stuff and longer. We were doing sort of 2K. Probably there's another way, methodology of warming up. You can sort of do like a 3-2-1. So it's 22, 24, 26, wind it together. Okay, but that's more longer pieces. We're talking sort of sprint stuff here. Okay, just firm here. We'll just roll it out for 30 seconds. Okay, and then we'll start to go into some priming pieces here. Okay, so we're going to build this one to about 30 to 32. Okay, now what I want you to do is get it up to speed, be elastic, and then find the most efficient way to tap it along. Okay, right, here we go, building. Now, go. Okay, breathe, relax the face. Take it down. Okay. Okay, so think about that speed, think about the rhythm. Okay. I really do encourage that we don't just blast out, balls to the wall, okay, and then have to slow down. Okay. So firm here. Let's move this one at 32 and above. Okay, building. Now, okay, be elastic. Don't worry about the length until we're up to speed. Then we can think about, are we compressed enough? Okay, breathe. Leave your body down. Okay. Okay, and so even now, working into these, if we're holding a reasonably consistent number on screen while we're in those ratings, okay, use that as an evaluation. Okay. Use that for yourself and you're thinking to be like, I can hold this, if I focus on all the rhythm, I can hold this, okay, at that rating. Maybe the rating's too high, maybe the rating's not high enough, okay? So let's just go in now, okay, firm. 30 seconds at the rating you'd like to sustain for this piece, okay, especially through the middle. Okay, the middle 500 meters. Think about what it is. Move the hands, firm, build, 30 seconds. Open rate. Now, breathe. Feel the body. Push and swing. And down. Okay. So, you know, didn't do a lot last week. 33, 34 right there. I think that's going to be me. Okay. We'll just roll it out here. And then we'll do 20 stroke above racing. Okay. We don't have to go silly in terms of power. Okay. But just get a feeling of having to move a little bit quicker and just putting a little bit of extra zing on the legs, okay? All right. Okay, starting to build. 20 stroke, over rate, moving in. This one. Now, right, tap along. Take it down. Okay. So that's really our final priming piece. Okay. We just need to breathe here, move. Now, the only thing I probably don't do much of or at all is start practice. Okay. So I've just got a different philosophy, I guess, where I'm all about get onto a rhythm, hold it. Okay. There's a lot of others that, yes, it's physiologically based as well, where you have a short period where the energy system's reasonably free, ATP or whatever they call it. So that's a place that's very individualized. Okay. So if we just stop here for a second, okay, we'll just have a drink. Okay, we'll let the flywheel slow down. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll just do a start. Okay. Now, as I said before, it's individual, but there's also, we've got to think about what we're trying to do, okay, over this period. Like, what are we're trying to be consistent, okay? Don't want to go down to 130s and then finish on 145s, okay? If you've got a target in your head, okay, of what you think you can do, let's use the first 4 or 5 strokes to just get this flywheel moving, okay? Be elastic in our length. So even if your length feels like it's quite short, don't worry about it. Get the rating up, get it on speed or a little bit below it, okay? Then just start breathing, okay? Start breathing, think about the free movement, and just hold on to that, okay? So we'll sit ready, okay? Try not to make this feel like, oh, fuck, the machine's really slow, okay? Push away, move the hands, get this up to speed, okay? See how long it takes you to get up to speed, okay? Right, here we go. We're only going to go for like 10 or 15 strokes, okay? Are you ready? Attention. Go. See, there I am there. Okay, now breathe, move the rhythm. Okay, take it down. Okay, so that there is all we really need to think about. Okay, quite often that first part is what throws a lot of people out. Okay, the other thing, it's a very individual thing as well, but maybe for today when we do the piece, okay, don't be super focused, especially for the first part, on your average 500-meter time. Okay, you know, if you're looking at the monitor and it's got average, split, projected, fuck all it, whatever, depending on what your display is on, don't be focused on that as much in the first part because it takes a bit of time for the numbers to catch up and all that sort of thing. There's one of the options on the display button should be the distance, big number of the average, and then obviously the time and the stroke rate. Okay. So I would say that's probably a very good one to look at. Okay. And just remember that what we're trying to do when we're, okay, so let's just firm this just for a second. Okay. Just bring the heart rate back to where we need it. So just remember that we're trying to be consistent here. Okay. This is a practice. This is something we're going to try and see what we can do. Let's try and avoid a massive sprint. Okay. If you need to free it up a little bit, that's great. Okay. But don't just fucking hammer it to the line because what we're trying to do today is give ourselves a realistic expectation of what we can achieve. Okay. So let's rock and roll. So think about how you feel. Okay. Heart rate's up. You feel strong, powerful on those pieces. You know, do you feel like, actually, I feel like I could do a little bit more? Okay. I would ultimately probably do a little bit more if you're doing a 2K, probably slightly less of the build and more piecework, more like high rating stuff if you were going to do like, say, 500s. Okay. But that's basically us. Okay. So we are all going to set 1,000 meters. Okay. I will just, I'm going to give it a reasonably good go. Well, not like a full whacker, obviously. This is a practice. but I'm aiming for something, I know 310 to 320. But I'm going to look to try and do it as easily and consistent as I can. Okay. I encourage you to just get into this rhythm, think about what you can do, tap it along. Okay. Think about the structure. Think about the first 250 meters being about getting into the rhythm. Okay. Really sit away into that 500. Okay. Really think about the hand movements, the breathing, the focus. Okay. From 500 down to about 250 to 200. Really just think about how the ratio is, the work, the rest. Okay. Swinging the body, using our rhythm. Okay. Because we're going to get to that last sort of 200 meters and we are going to be running out of gas. Okay. We're going to be losing energy. And that's where, if we can hold this rhythm and just keep this tap along today, then we know that we could probably pull another second or two out when we go to sprint it in a few days' time. Okay. So this is it. This is what we want to come out of this with a realistic expectation of saying, hey, I did this time, and I think I could do this time when I do it again in 3 or 4 days. Okay. Because you'll have practiced this, you'll have an idea about how it went, whether the first part was good enough, whether you've put too much gas in here, whether you left too much on the table. Okay. And then you're like, fuck, I could have sprinted that and had way more time. Okay. So think about those things. Okay. Here we go. Final prep. Nice deep breath. Okay. Let's go set the menu. Okay. Select workout, new workout, single distance. Okay. Just take that down to 1 minute. Okay. You can leave the split length at 200 meters if you'd like. Okay. Because that could be a really good, uh, it, it'll show you at the end how you went in every one of those fifth segments. Okay. We'll leave that flashing for a second. Okay. Remember, build into it, tap it along, hold it. Okay. Really just think about what you are doing. Okay. I'll give technical cues. Okay. There's not going to be too much hip hip hurrah. Just really focused on how we're doing it. Okay. I'll give the cues for you guys to think about certain things. Bob's your uncle. Okay. Okay. So efficiency is the key. Tapping it along. Nice, free, easy movements, free speed. Okay. Here we go. All right. Sitting ready. Attention. Go. Okay. Tap it. Breathe. Don't feel the finish. Trust the body. Okay. Relax it. Tap it along. Closing now. Push. Hang. Hang speed. High rhythm. Sit back. Hang. Trust the body. Okay, good. Both feet. Swing. Relax it. Good. Careful. Oh, look in front. Loose. Tight. Good. Tap it along. Hold the rhythm. Okay. Breathe. Be elastic. Good. Tap it along. Tap it along. Okay. Hold that rhythm thing. Okay. Well done. Okay. Keep moving. Okay. Oh, I think we're all done. Hey, just keep moving with me. Okay. So let's evaluate. Okay. Think about how you felt it went. Okay. Where were the good parts? Where were the not so good parts? Feel like you could hold the rhythm, tap it along. Okay. Was it, did it start to feel labored? Or could you really hold that speed, that momentum? Okay. The elasticity of the stroke. Hey, I really found in the last sort of, I don't know, 350 meters, I actually had quite a good rhythm and I saw my rating come up slightly. Okay, my speed didn't change, but I knew that I was starting to feel that, like, because my arms are wearing down, right? And that's what happens in high intense pieces is that when these small muscle groups wear out, they feel like they can't hold on anymore. And that's why we do this. We close ourselves in rather than being able to really use that body. That's why I was saying you can swing, use that weight of our body, okay, off our legs. Then the finish takes care of itself. We finish in front. We've got the hand speed, okay? We roll into the front. We just pick that front speed. We just tap it along, okay? So just here, let's extend out a little bit, okay? We'll go back and have a look at some numbers in a sec. Okay, just breathe, roll forward, nice long arms. Okay, feel the body weight. Just move our bodies into normal position. Okay, so really good. Okay, there. I think I was about where I wanted to be be honest. 316 or something. Not going to complain. That's pretty good. Didn't feel any sort of out of sorts. I probably felt like I let the rating slip a little bit in the second five. And I was like, move it a bit quicker. It's sort of what I brought into the third quarter. And that just helped tap it along, keep that rhythm and speed. Okay. And that's, you know, you should get to about 250 to go. And you should be like, fuck, this is pretty hard. Okay. And if we could still move today and keep a relative composure, then good. Okay. Because when we get to that last 100, you got about 12 strokes to go, 10 strokes. You just fucking haul on it. Okay. Yeah. That's just literally turning the tap on the keg, just running it dry. Okay. Okay. So just keep moving here for a little bit. Okay. You should feel way better right now. Okay. This is the whole moving and active recovery now than you are when we finish. Okay. But if we've just sat there and let the lactate pull, then nah, not the greatest. Right. I have to do another one of those later in the week now. Okay. Nice pressure here. Let's extend these arms out long. Hang. Rhythm. Feel the swing. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to go back and check on that. Right. Yeah. 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 So between the 400 meters, the 400-meter split was my slowest, and the rating was quite slow too. So hence why when I sped it up, dropped to 32 at that point. I didn't think it was that low. And then it went back up to 33, 34, bang. Great numbers. So can't complain too much. That's so, you can jump on and you can have a look at obviously your average or each of those splits, find out how long it took you to do each one of those. How much do you feel like you shorten up the stroke when you do a sprint like this? I feel like I'm at quarter slide. Sorry, at three-quarter slide. It's a hard because like the you just can't get all the way back to the front. Like I think if I rewatched it, I feel like I'm getting to about here, right, which is probably just over top of the handle clip. Okay, that's sort of where I would probably feel like I'm getting to. But because the rate's high, because the speed's high, you get back onto the flywheel so much quicker. So you're effectively got effective length. straight away because you're not having to like get out and then feel like a take up period before you get onto it. You're basically like getting there and you're just putting it straight on. Um, and so whatever length you get to, and like all you'd have to do is go back and look at some of the like pieces that some of the top guys do at like the world rowing stuff and the virtual champs they had on recently. And they get pretty short, man. Like, especially in the last sort of probably 500, I see a lot of people only rowing just over half slide, right? But the thing is, you've used all the energy you got. If you keep trying to go forward, the muscles aren't letting you do it because they're tying up. Okay, but you can move them just enough. And of course, as long as you can still get that body swing into play, it doesn't matter so much about the legs. That makes sense because you're still getting pressure and pushing the legs, but you're getting a lot of body mass that comes through with it. Okay. Do I raise the feet on the foot stretcher for lower distance pieces, Ronnie? I don't, because I'm on the adage that whatever you practice at, you should race. Okay, it's when we used to race on the water, you get a really strong headwind, and all these coaches would go, "Oh, we're going to shorten the oars so that we can keep the rating up." And you're like, "Yeah, but you haven't practiced with that. Like, you've surely have got to practice into the headwind and know that you're just going to lose a couple of points of rating because it's going to be longer. But why change all your setup when you haven't actually used it?" Okay, so the theory and the philosophy, yes, is the flatter you can push, the better it is. Okay. So on, but at the same time, Ronnie, there's a balance between like the flatness of your push and your length and how you're doing it. Because you could have a flat push and not get your body engaged and just push the legs out and then try and swing the body, or you could just you're still going to use the body anyway or whatever, and you might feel a little bit cramped, but it's something for you to think about. And I know people that do it and they like it. I've tried it, I didn't like it. So it's one of those things, right? If you are doing shorter pieces, yes, because you're just trying to keep that rating up and you're trying to keep a really flat push, yes, it probably is better for you. The physics would probably say, and the biomechanics would probably say so, but it's also a you thing. And that's what all of this comes down to, is a you thing. Rich, great workout, very eliminating workout. Tells me how out of shape I am. 29, maybe 30 strokes a room is all I got for 1,000. Thanks. The other thing you could do though, Rich, is pull the drag back a little bit. And then just think about, because you should have less power, but you might have more speed. And if you can use that speed and that inertia right around the finish, so once you finish, you can get back over. Whereas I guess if it's maybe a bit high, then you got all this power, and then you're probably not getting the whip, that inertia or momentum around the finish. Um, Something to try. But yes, and this is one of these things, right? That when the great thing about the rowing machine is we do so many different things on it, right? Longer distance training, short sprints, thousands, 2Ks, 500s, 5K, half marathon, whatever you want to do. And they all require slightly different things. Okay. And so on a piece like this today, it's right in the middle of having sustainability but sprinting, right? 500 meters is literally go out. It's like a fly and die. You just go out as hard as you can and then just hope that you don't slow down as much. Whereas this one here, you've still got to manage. This one here, you've got to be very, very like, I need to go out hard, but I also have to survive. Because if you get to like 350 meters to go, you've still got a minute and a bit. And if you can't move, you might lose 3-4 seconds, but if you were willing to take a second or even 2 seconds off the starting 500, you're probably going to hold it in the last part and not feel like you're fucking dying 1,000 deaths, but at the same time have somewhere to be like, I think I can empty the tank. Whereas if your tank gets emptied without you, right, it just happens. You're like, I'm done. That's psychologically very difficult. Okay. Whereas if you're in control, which is what we need you to be, if you can be in control of when and how you use that energy, okay, and when's the time to push, when's the time to lift it, all of that sort of stuff. If you can do that, you're in control. Okay. If you lose control, you're probably going to lose control of your technique. You've obviously lost control of like your physiology, and so that's the thing with the 1,000 is it's very much teetering between point of no return, but control, and you've got to find that red line, and you've really got to sit probably on the red line or slightly above it. Whereas when you're doing a 2K, you know that it's 2K, but you've got this time and this period where you're like, I need to hold it, I've got it, I haven't got it, I've got it, blah blah blah. And so that's what makes it a great thing to do. Okay. And as I said before, yes, it takes a bit out of us. Okay. But if you give yourselves 3 or 4 days, you could go back and do this again. And I think you would find what we did today beneficial. Okay. Just do some practice stuff in between now and Thursday, Friday, whatever it is. What's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? Tuesday, Wednesday. What the hell? What date are we today? Second, third, second, whatever. Um, I'd give this 3 to 4 days, bang, and I think you'll be in a really good space. Okay. Tinker with that warm up if you want. If it didn't quite, if you thought actually I just probably would have liked to have done a little bit more rating work. Okay. Then maybe cut out the 24, maybe do a 26 and a 28 and maybe a 30 at the minute. Okay. And then just maybe lift the ratings in those priming pieces. But as you see today, we did nearly 25 minutes before we started. Okay. I think we did even more than that. Now, did you feel like that was enough? I don't think you're going to think it was too much. Okay. Because I started in a really good place. Okay. But this is the sort of thing that I need you to understand with yourselves is that when you go to do anything, you need to have an idea of what you need to do for your body, for your fitness, for your age, for your sex, for your shape, whatever, to get ready. Okay. To get ready to do it. Okay. And I got to say, I felt pretty good when I started. And I think that's a real positive. Okay. Take that from there. You guys need to make those decisions for yourself. But it's a great starting point. Okay. Pims got caught up with the fast. First 200 felt okay. I could do this. As it progressed, it felt so unattainable. I tried to survive the last 250, closed my eyes and just tapped along. Need to work how to pace myself and not go out too hard, even though I didn't think I did. Need to learn more by doing more. And that's the thing, Pims. If you haven't done too many of these, then that's something you need to do, right? But what I said to you before, Pims, is that have a look. So go onto your memory, right, and go list by date or list by whatever it is, and have a look at what that 1,000 meters was. Have a look at the rating on the side. Have a look at your split in the middle. Okay, and think back to it, and you might be like, actually, after the first 200, it felt okay, right? It might say, and I'll just use round numbers here, might say 145. Okay, and then the next split might have said 146, and then it says 147, might say 146 or whatever. Look at and feel what was sustainable. And then when you go out to do this piece in a few days, which I hope everyone does, know what you can sit on. Okay. Do that start, sit on the number. Okay. Tap it along, tap it along, tap it along. If you're sitting on your number, right, say 145 is your number. Perfect. Okay. Breathe, move the hands. See if you can work less by maintaining the pace. Okay. So if that 145 or the 150, whatever it is your number, right? You get to it, you're moving, you're on 34, and you're like, or you're even lower than it, and you're on 142s, 143s. Back off slightly, okay, and then just go. I'm on here, okay. Can I breathe into this? Can I hold this? 10 strokes goes by, 20 strokes goes by. There's a minute now. I'm down at 600 to go. I'm now at 550 to go, and I'm holding it. Oh, now it's starting to feel hard. Okay, keep it moving, right? And it's that sort of thing that you need to be thinking of when you're in these type of pieces, because they are difficult, but you've got to be able to keep that moving, right? And so the whole idea is, now that you've done one, okay, you've got a time, that can be your benchmark. Okay. And as I said before, this realistic expectation and having a benchmark that you know you can work from. is why you need to do sort of practice things like this. And it's very difficult to just do these day after day or week after week, okay? Because they do, if you want to do one of these properly, you have to be working into it. You have to be nicely rested, okay? You're not going to do, if you're going to do this in the morning, I wouldn't probably do anything in the afternoon the day before. Good warm up, bam, okay, and we go. So it's about learning what works for you. When's the best time to do it? Are you better to do doing it at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon? You know, are you the type of person who needs a whole day to sort of get ready, or do you want to do it first thing when you feel energized? Okay, but just find these little things for yourself. But then whatever you get, now you've got a personal best, and that's what you know you can do, and then that's something to aim for. Okay, and then you can use incremental steps from there to get better and better and better. Okay, easy days. Right, perfect team. That's enough chit chat from me. Um, well done. If you guys, as I say, the sprints are between the 5th and the 9th of March. So in the next week, rip into it, set the monitors, make sure your date and time are ready, download the Erg Data app, make sure your logbooks are good, and then we're away laughing. Was keeping 30, 33, 34. So I need to find the stroke rate that I can sustain. Yeah, well, that's it. So could be 32, 33. Okay. But whatever it is, remember, find the ratio, find the rhythm, tap it along. Okay. The main goal is to get the flywheel to speed. Don't let it slow down. Okay. That is the goal. Okay. It's not working your ass off, whatever. You're going to do that anyway. Okay. I don't have to sit here and tell anyone to fucking work hard. Okay. I know you're all going to do it. The way that we get our numbers is to not let our machine slow down. Okay. So efficiency, relaxation, relaxing the face, breathing, moving with freedom, being elastic. Okay. Allowing our momentum around the finish, allowing that travel speed forward that creates our rhythm into the front, okay, that compression that allows us to push away, all of those things, okay, adds up. Great job. Okay, perfect. Thanks, team. I'm out. Lots to do today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good week next week. Looking forward to seeing how everyone goes on the 1,000 meters. Right, peace out.